Happy 2024, baby! Today is that time. It's time for the Q&A that you guys have been waiting for the past month or two. So, yeah, back in the beginning of December, I asked you guys to ask me some questions that you guys wanted to do. I might make this a yearly thing. I might make it a thing where I do this every single New Year's. I'm a little late to the party this time. I was supposed to have this up by now. By the time I'm recording this, it is the 2nd of January. This video should have been recorded on the 27th. And it was not. Therefore, I have failed you guys as a content creator. I apologize. You guys can burn me at the stakes and cancel me all you want now. You have that ability. But no, today we're going to be answering some questions on this handy dandy phone that is pretty crappy. I'm not gonna lie. It's a iPhone 8 Plus. Ain't gonna be kicking for so long. This is quite an old boy. I asked questions from 2 different platforms. One on Discord and the other one on YouTube.com on my community post. We have 20 questions in total. A few things have repeated themselves, or similar enough to where they should qualify as a freaking flight. A few questions can qualify as the exact same question that is just worded slightly different. But we'll see how many of those we have. We have 20 in total, as I said. We're gonna start off with the Discord end, since there wasn't a whole lot of questions coming from that end. Probably because my server is dead. First question is coming in from Firelinks. Who is your favorite driver in every racing series? There's a big problem with that one. I don't know the majority of the drivers in every racing series. Drivers that I really know of are, or the drivers that I have favorite drivers in, is all 3 NASCAR series, all main NASCAR series, Formula 1, IndyCar, World of Outlaws, which I vaguely keep up with. I just know a few drivers' names, and I think that's it. So I'd say Chase Elliott is my favorite driver in the NASCAR Cup Series. In the NASCAR Xfinity Series, it's been back and forth a lot, but I've been sticking to Parker Kligerman a lot lately, mostly because of how much of an underdog he is. In the Truck Series, it was Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith, but they're not there anymore, so I don't really know who my favorite driver there is. As for F1, I am a Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz fan by heart. Yes, I am very depressed. Yeah, 2023 was not the best year for me. Yeah. This next question comes from the Yeti Cup series from Discord, and it is, what's your opinion about Austin Dillon when it comes to road courses? I haven't really paid attention to Dillon that much on the road courses, frankly, like, at all. I'm personally not a fan of Austin Dillon. I just don't really like the guy that much. I mean, I don't hate him, but he's definitely not in my top. He's definitely not in my top 20 drivers. I would say. Now, from the first question, we had who were my favorite drivers in each racing series, but this time from GS Cup Series, this is who are your least favorite drivers in each NASCAR series and why? Well, my first least favorite driver in the Cup Series is Denny Hamlin. I'm a Chase Elliott fan, so figures. Although recently I would say that I've been leaning towards Logano being my least favorite driver, but I don't know, it's always been a toss-up between the two, so I'm not too sure on that. In Xfinity, I would just say I don't really have a least favorite driver in Xfinity. I just don't really know who I really dislike in that series. And in the Truck Series, I don't know. I honestly have no idea either. That one, I don't really have a least favorite driver there. I just watch the races to root for my favorite guys. I don't really have a least favorite driver in that series. This is an interesting one from ESMN. It is, do you actually shop at Advanced Auto Parts? And if not, what is your go-to auto shop? See, here's a funny thing. I don't have an Advanced Auto Parts anywhere near me. I think the closest one to me is like an hour away. The auto parts stores that I have up here is Napa, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and there she goes, and AutoZone. Those are the only 3 that I have up here, and a few local businesses, but Yeah, I don't have an advanced auto parts up here. So that's a little awkward. This one from good friend MLCS Racing Network. If I were stuck on a desert island with 2 other NASCAR Cup Series drivers, who would it be and why? Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain, and watch the chaos unfold. That's the best answer I could give you. Trying to get through these as quick as I can. Not because we have a whole lot of questions, but because my phone storage is not the best right now. So I gotta get these out, and then I'm gonna edit it all on this phone, where this one can save some storage. This next question from Stop Mo Bro. That's an interesting name, cool name there. And they ask, if your color orange is divisible by the 2 pineapples smell like the state of Alabama, what is the chemical charge of the color pink divided by shepherd's pie? Getting all mathy up in here, my goodness. I'm not good with math. It was always my bad subject in school. Gotta say, like a Wendy's Frosty would probably be my guesstimate. I would say. I could be wrong though. You could throw it into the calculator, see if I'm right or wrong. Put it in the comments actually if I'm right or wrong. But you think Wendy's Frosty is the answer to that question? Phone's still recording, so I'm not talking to air just yet. Last thing from Discord, it is from Cheez-Its. That's just a nickname in the server. I forgot to grab the name. The actual user. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's 3 letters and a couple undercases, so I'll just put it right here. Anyways, they ask, what are some funny things Cole likes to do? Well, good thing that you've asked that, because there have been plenty of stories that I've had ever since I finally moved back up here into this humble abode. Almost every morning I'll wake up to her either jumping up on my bed and trying to chirping at me, trying to wake me up or something. But if that doesn't work, then she'll just sleep, but she'll just flop back on her side and go back to sleep. Or sometimes I just wake up and she already is flopped down and asleep. Some people don't know this, but I record the majority of my commentary stuff in the closet I have over here, and she loves hanging out in the closet. I'll put a few videos up here, but she has dug her claws into the door trying to pry it open, because I can't, there's no handle on the inside of the closet, so I can't like pull it shut so she doesn't bother me. But even if I were to do that, she'd probably scratch at the door and just make a bigger problem than her just being in there with me. So yeah, she usually just tries to get inside of the closet, and it's pretty cute. I love the little girl to death. She left my room already, so I can't bring her onto the camera. She's in the thumbnail, I know that, but she's not in the room right now. Maybe she'll come back later on when we get deeper into these comments. Let's go ahead and move on to the YouTube section of the questions, and sorry, got a little thirsty. From NASCAR Sprite Cup Series, if you could pick any track, any 5 drivers, any 5 paint schemes, any era of Cup car, or any time of year to hold a race of your dreams, what would it consist of? This is a very similar question to Quan 8 the Jet Dryer. I still can't get over that username. Very similar question, which is if you could do any exhibition race in any series of any track in the world, or even fantasy, or even a fantasy one from a video game, what would it be? Well, if I were to pick any track, the track would be difficult to think about. Any 5 drivers, it would probably be 5 of my top 10 favorite drivers. So probably Gordon, Johnson, Elliot. That's a lot of Hendrick. Blaney and Suarez would probably be the 5 drivers I would have. If not, for the era of Cup car, I would probably have it be the Gen 4 era, and in that era I would definitely do Johnson, Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Gordon, and Earnhardt. I feel like a regular summer race would be pretty cool, but as for the schemes, I don't know. Well, my favorite scheme of all time, I would say, is the Jeff Gordon's Flame scheme. That is definitely one of my favorite cars of all time. And then obviously the Sterling Marlin car would be his Coors Light Silver Bullet car. That's an iconic one. And then of course the Good Wrench car for Dale Earnhardt. And then for Johnson, it would obviously be a Lowe's car. And then as for the track, that's a tough one. I probably think it would be cool to do like an interchangeable track, but probably like a Nashville would be pretty cool, like the Nashville Super Speedway, maybe a Darlington race. But yeah, it'd be cool to have those 5 cars have their own race around a really good track like the Nashville. Speaking of Nashville, I recently made that track, and it's one of my favorite tracks that I've ever made so far. And even though I'm not even filming on it yet, I'm really excited, and I really want to get to the playoffs really soon. Still recording, gotta make sure that this phone doesn't implode on itself and not want to record for me anymore, which would absolutely suck. This next question comes from Cookneys05. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It looks like I am. But they ask, how do you get motivation to do stop motion, and how long does it take to do a stop motion? Also, Coke or Pepsi? That's 3 questions there. You're pushing your limit. No, it's fine. But where I mostly get my motivation from is basically ever since I had the whole thing happen last year in October. 2020, not 2023, 2022 was when it happened. Ever since then, I was basically gone from the stop motion scene for like a year. You guys know this. There was a big gap between the finale of season number 2 and the Daytona 500 of season number 4. Or sorry, season number 3 finale to season number 4 season opener. So yeah, there was a really big gap between those 2 races. Of course, there were technically 4 exhibition races between then, with the 2 with the heat video for the Clash, the actual Clash, the All-Star Open, and then the actual All-Star race. So I did make like those 4 different videos through the whole absence of the series, and then of course a vlog, and then a Q&A before that. When you're away from a hobby for over a year and you all of a sudden get back into it, you are more motivated than ever, like trust me. But with how long it takes me to make a stop motion race, like at least this season, it's been about like a week per race, surprisingly. I'm surprised that I'm still lasting this long with the motivation. I probably would have thought it would have worn out by now. Speaking of races, I have Darlington not filmed, but ready to film, so that's gonna be fun. And by the time I'm recording this video this weekend, Nebraska is gonna be coming out on Saturday, 2 p.m. EST, 11 a.m. My time PST. There's Atlanta, which is coming out the week after that. I might have a few special guests in that video as well. Yeah, it usually takes me about a week per race. Some races are shorter than others, and some races take longer than others. So that's just mostly how it is. But to answer that final question, it's Coke. Okay, moving on. Here's another multiple question comment. This is from the Mutant Turkey. Where were you during Thanksgiving? The first question is, who is my favorite driver? And the second question is, can I make NASCAR gaming videos? To answer the first question, we already went over this in a few other questions beforehand, so we'll throw those up on screen if they're similar enough. But to answer that question, it is actually really close between Daniel Suarez and Chase Elliott. But I've been leaning towards Chase Elliott more. But Suarez has really become one of my favorite. That's a creaky ass chair. But yeah, Suarez has definitely become one of my favorites throughout the years of him being at Trackhouse. Just Trackhouse as a team, I really like. So but yeah, Elliott is my favorite current driver. And then as for the second question, can I do gaming videos on NASCAR? I would love to do that. I really would. but I just don't have the proper setup to do so. If I did, I would love to be able to like hook up my PS3 here to like a laptop or a PC or something to get whatever's happening on this TV casted onto a laptop or a computer, and then record the videos that way. I just haven't been able to get a good enough computer in order to do such things. Eventually, whenever I do get all that right, get the right equipment, gaming videos are more than likely going to be showing up in the channel, and it's going to be fun. This next question comes from NeneYT24, and they ask, how many tracks have you made, and which ones are your favorite? We touched on it a little bit in a previous question. My favorite track that I've ever made so far, it's a pretty nice tie between Nashville and Atlanta, like the new super speedway, Atlanta and Nebraska. So it's a three-way tie between those three. I absolutely love the way that those three tracks turned out. Bristol is a really close fourth. There are other tracks that I've made that I really like my new Darlington. There's a new Darlington coming to the series. Auto Club, that was a really nice one that I liked. I liked the Daytona that I had. Chicagoland was a pretty decent track. But between Atlanta, Nashville, and Nebraska, those three are like neck and neck for my favorite ones. As for the amount of tracks that I've made, it's 27. That's a lot. So, yeah, definitely not the same amount that other creators have made. Obviously, there are other creators that have like probably twice as many tracks as me. Next question here is from KislowskiFan_6, and it's, how do you make your customs and how do you make your stop motions? Lucky for you, there are videos for both of those questions. Most recently, the behind the scenes video for IRP, and the other video I posted about like a year or two ago about how I make my customs. I'll link both of those videos down below for you to go check them out, and for everyone else to go check them out if you guys want to. You guys can go ahead and watch those videos whenever you want to. You guys can pause this one, go watch them, and then come back if you want. I don't really care. As long as you guys are watching these videos and you guys are enjoying them as much as I am making them, that's fine. Next question we have here from SMCS Racing Network, otherwise known as Stop Motion Cup Series. They are asking about the plywood. Where do I get it? How do I get it? How much is it? What's a good deal? Is it worth it? I don't know. I actually don't know. No, but the plywood that I usually get is from a local hardware store, and it's about $23 for about a 4 feet by 8 feet sheet that you can have cut down. They didn't charge me extra for having it cut down. I don't know how many places are like that. I would imagine very few. Yeah, I get my wood from a local hardware store. I don't have a Lowe's or a Home Depot near me that is within a reasonable driving distance. They are all like at least an hour away from me. This track, Bristol, IRP, and Nashville, which is way over there, these are pretty thick boards, as you saw in the IRP behind the scenes video. It was very, very, very thick. I don't really know how good Home Depot and Lowe's plywood is priced, or if it's really worth it. Next question comes from the one and only Speed Cup Stop Motion, and he asks, what are your top 3 favorite Chase Elliott paint schemes of all time? I would probably say that his 2021 A-Shock car is one of my favorites. I love the red and black colors. I love the way how they clash and collide with one another. I mean, just look at it. Look at how cool this thing is. That's awesome. It's so cool and clean. It's a little dusty, but no matter. I'd probably say that his Kelly Blue Book scheme from 2020 and 2021 is also one of his best schemes. I hate what they did to it with the next gen. I just don't understand why why they did that to it. It was perfect like this before. And then as for the third car, I gotta give it to his number 25 car when he was running a few races in the Cup Series back in 2015. It was, yes, 15. I love that car. I mean, I don't have a 124 of it. My 124 scale collection is small. I only have 8. Moving on to our next question from a huge TSMC fan, 17 Fun. That's a wild name. That's a really long name. They ask, why did you choose Advanced Auto Parts to be the title sponsor? That's a good question. I don't know. As far as I know, I originally wanted to go with the Napa Cup Series, but I think while I was trying to make this channel, I was doing like research to see what was taken already, and Napa was one of the first things that I looked up, and yeah, it was taken. The channel that I found was doing pretty decent with it already, so I didn't want to bother trying to take over the Napa Cup Series name. So then I went with the next best thing, which was the Advanced Auto Parts Cup Series. And I've always rooted for Blaney in his rookie year through all the way up to like 2018 or 19. I didn't really root for him that much. But around the end of 2019 and early 2020 is when I really started to root for him more and more, which is one of the main reasons why I started to lean towards the Advanced Auto Parts Cup Series and not the Napa Cup Series. From Theory RN 775, they ask, what is your favorite NASCAR track? It's Auto Club. We know what's happening there. I'm very sad about it. I'm really scared that they're not even going to return next they're not going to return next year in 2025 or 2026 or 2027 or 2028 or 2029. And from Andrew HP asks, what's your favorite NASCAR scheme ever? I think I said it before in the video, but it's the Jeff Gordon Flames scheme from DuPont, his early Gen 4 car. It was 2001 when it debuted. I remember now. But yeah, I wasn't even born when the scheme was first ran, and it's my favorite scheme I've ever seen on a NASCAR car. Just the blue base that sparkles in the sun, as well as the red flames that pop on the track, as well as that neon yellow number just ties it all together, and I absolutely love it. I don't have a 124 flame scheme for Gordon, but I do have his 1998 Rainbow Warrior car. I would bring it down, but I kind of don't want to get up. It's also pretty dirty, so I don't want to put that on camera. I think that basically wraps up our questions for today. I think there's one more question here, and it comes from Dylan Hardy, and he asks, have you ever been sitting down? What? That's a weird question to ask, but it's just more comfortable, in my opinion. Yes, I have done it. It's just more comfortable. Standing up I do it occasionally, but that's a bit of a personal question, a little weird one too. All right, well then. So that basically wraps up the video here today. Thank you guys for asking your questions. This video is a little late. It should be coming out this week, like probably before Nebraska premieres. Which, if it does, please set your reminders for it. I'll put a link to it in the description below so you guys can go do that. Or you could just click onto my channel and it should be pinged. It should be one of the first videos to pop up, if not the first video to pop up. But yeah, it was fun answering your guys' questions. Hopefully we can make this a yearly thing. It'd be really cool to make it a yearly thing. For every New Year's we have another Q&A on this channel, because a lot can change in a year. Trust me, a lot can change in a year. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please go sure to check out those other videos that we were talking about earlier in this video, and see you guys later. Tell them to like the video and subscribe. Come on, your cuteness will be able to manipulate them into doing it.